And therefore, with the new normal, with the new Industry 4.0, and with the FUCA area, I believe we have to rely heavily going forward to see how the Australian Indonesians, I think, with the optimistic view to have develop business opportunity in the future. I think the topic of today is also well relevant to Indonesia, especially if you look at the interests of our presidents and the vice president by having what we call it the CNEX. CNEX is the National Committee for Ekonomi and Finance of Syariah, which is now being headed by the Indonesian vice president. We may see from a number of occasions that the priority for Indonesian Syariah economy and finance will focus in the near term is to develop the halal product industry, which is relevant to our topic today. Also development of Syariah finance industry, development of Syariah social fund atau ZISWAF, zakat, infak, sedekah, and wakaf, and also the expansion of Syariah business activity. They are four main agenda that Indonesian National Economics and Finance Syariah Committee, as a quick win program going forward, is relevant to our topics of today. And the main issues that I see for this halal industrial zone is how do we select the industrial zone, how do we certify halal export and product, and also halal traceability, how do we develop a halal hub and port, and how the alignment of roles of a number of institutions that are aware of the Syariah compliance, and then halal certification for slaughterhouse, rumah potong hewan, and assistance and capacity building for the small scale industry in Indonesia.
With a growth rate of 20%, data released by the university's International Center for Muslim and Non-Muslim Understanding in 2015 shows that in 2050 it is estimated that the world Muslim population will reach 2.7 billion, which is 29.7% of the world population. And in year 2070, it is estimated that the world Muslim population will exceed the world Christian population. And also in year 2050, it is estimated that the number of Christians in Australia will decline from 67% to around 45%. So the influx of Islam in Australia, which is considered to be large, occurred in the 1960s when there was a massive migration from Turkey and Lebanon. Furthermore, in the era of the 1960s, there was a significant wave of refugee acceptance from conflict areas such as Africa, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, and also Bosnia-Herzegovina, Albania, as well as Indonesia and Malaysia. And since that era, Muslims in Australia have grown rapidly by 35% or around 53,000 people. There are now more than 600,000 Muslims in Australia. Maybe Dr. Abdulkhair will correct me if I'm wrong, from around 70 countries. Therefore, we can understand that the Muslim community is a reflection of Australian multiculturalism. Although still in its infancy and small in comparison with we call conventional cousin, Islamic banking and finance has become a growth area in recent years, perceived by its advocates as not only halal or Islamically lawful, but also a safer investment option in the wake of the global financial crisis it has continues to post 15 up to just 20% annual growth rates. But there are some conditions that have been affected to the development of Islamic industry in Australia. First, least empirical research on Islamic finance. Empirical research on attitudes toward Islamic business and finance has been limited in Australia. I can say that one of the research is conducted by our honorable speaker, Dr. Abdulkhair Jalaludin, when he was doing PhD thesis, attitudes of Australian small business firms and financial institutions towards profit and loss sharing method of finance in internet. He surveyed the attitudes towards profit and loss finance methods of about 390 small businesses and 80 financial institutions in Sydney. He noted that 60% of small business respondents, and majority of whom are non-Muslim, express an interest in profit and loss. We call them mudharabah, for example, financial arrangements, and more than 40% of the financial institutions were prepared to lend on the basis.
Islamic finance is a large industry all over the world. It operates in different continents of the world, including Middle East, Asia, and Europe. And Islamic finance today operates in over 70 countries. And Australia is an emerging market for that. Australia is still in the nascent, but it is an emerging market for Islamic finance and Islamic investment. Australia really has a high potential for Islamic financial services, specifically for Islamic banking, Islamic financial products, as well as Islamic wealth management. So this high potential comes from two main sources. Number one, we have a sizable Islamic market, Muslim market. Number two, Australian economy has a number of businesses owned by Muslims. And these businesses can create a high level of demand for Islamic financial services products. And apart from Muslim, Australia also has a large number of ethical consumers. They also demand Islamic financial services. And the other part of the market is Muslim businesses. Muslims in Australia, they own businesses in various sectors. And these sectors include retailing, butchery, accounting services, financial services, manufacturing, real estate, taxis and transportation, home and gardening, furniture, automotive, halal food and beverages, travel agency, clothing and accessories, computers and IT, jewelry and watches, as well as a number of bookshops and small publishers.
Kalau dilihat potensi, balik lagi apa yang tema yang saya dapat tadi itu, potensi ekspor impor produk halal gitu ya. Dengan semakin tadi sudah dibicarakan, dengan semakin tingginya tingkat awareness, kepedulian kita dengan produk halal yang tidak hanya limit ke konsumsi makanan berupa makanan, tapi hampir semua kosmetik juga termasuk juga mungkin yang tidak kita sadari juga produk-produk olahan jadi kayak kayak semacam sepatu gitu kan. Sepatu itu ternyata juga kan ada juga yang materialnya tidak halal itu. Bagi sebagian kita, sebagian Muslim yang yakin itu tidak akan diambil gitu. Dan sekarang pun juga terlihat sekali gitu kan banyaknya kalau kita terutama di produk-produk makanan gitu ya, atau di restoran itu kan selalu ditanyakan ada sertifikat halalnya nggak gitu ya. Tapi sekarang juga tidak hanya tidak hanya limited ke makanan, tapi konsumsi produk-produk lain gitu, seperti itu. Potensinya yang jelas mungkin kalau potensi ekspornya dari Australia ke Indonesia ya sudah kelihatan sekali ya, dengan produk-produk daging mereka yang selalu yang signifikan dijual ke Indonesia gitu. Dan saya melihat sekarang dengan adanya kesepakatan kerjasama ya Indonesia dan Australia komprehensif komprehensif SEPA itu ya. Aduh, ada yang ingat itu CEPA Economic ya, Comprehensive Economic Agreement. Jadi semacam agreement antara dua belah pihak yang dimulai dari antara Indonesia dan Australia dimulai diberlakukan tanggal 23 Juli kemarin. Itu bisa lengkapnya mungkin bisa dilihat di Departemen Menlu juga ada di Departemen Luar Negeri atau Perdagangan gitu kan. Jadi itu dengan sangat mudahnya sekali gitu. Sebagai contoh, kami mungkin sebelum adanya SEPA ini gitu, agreement ini, itu untuk mendatangkan kontainer gitu kan, ketika sudah sampai di sini itu dibutuhkan waktu minimum 2 minggu lah. Minimum 2 minggu itu untuk bisa kita keluarkan itu kontainernya. Sekarang enggak, ini kontainer dari Indonesia gitu. Jadi udah tidak perlu lagi ada yang namanya istilahnya karantina gitu. Kalau di sini yang saya perhatikan ya udah 2 kali ini kontainer saya ini masuk ke sini tanpa karantina dan langsung keluar gitu, seperti itu. Sangat dan belum lagi biaya kemudahan dalam biaya mungkin biaya ekspor, biaya ini itu mungkin bisa dicari lagi gitu. Kedepannya kalau saya perhatikan gitu kan, karena growth-nya pertumbuhan Muslim gitu itu ya jauh berbanding jauh dengan growth rate-nya non Muslim gitu, karena udah semacam ketahuan lah gitu, suatu ketahuan umum lah gitu ya, suatu ketahuan umum bahwa ya kebanyakan dari kita generasi Muslim itu banyak gitu, kita bisa punya banyak generasi, bisa punya banyak anak, dan itu yang saya lihat kedepannya gitu kan, kedepannya itu yang bakalan akan terus booming gitu atau bertambah gitu, karena demandnya orang akan mencari investasi gitu kan, investasi yang halal, bahkan untuk mencari rumah yang halal gitu. Nah jadi mungkin yang terakhir itu saran saya untuk harapan saya untuk MES ini gitu kan, mungkin yang pertama sekali mulai mungkin bisa dibuat semacam kelompok kerja gitu kan, atau apalah namanya gitu kan, yang mungkin bisa memfasilitasi atau mencari semacam pasar atau market, terutama untuk kawan-kawan kita ya, sebagai gate atau sebagai information gate atau apa namanya gitu kan, kita bisa untuk mencari peluang bisnis buat ekspor dari Indonesia ke Australia gitu. Yang pertama, yang kedua mungkin ke depannya kalau memang bisa diusahakan itu dibuat semacam lembaga bola alam, kalau bisa gitu kan, seperti itu ya, dibuat semacam lembaga, mungkin bisa semacam lembaga keuangan gitu kan, yang bisa global gitu kan, di mana kami sendiri gitu selaku usahawan di bidang ekspor impor itu sangat ini sekali gitu ya, sangat terasa sekali ya, namanya kita impor bahkan ekspor gitu kan, kita membutuhkan cash flow atau membutuhkan dana gitu kan, sebagai working capital kita gitu. Nah jadi mungkin mungkin bisa jadi gitu kan, kedepannya MIS bisa buat suatu perkreditan Islami di Australia, kenapa enggak gitu kan, kalau bisa dibuat semacam konsorsium seperti itu gitu.